You're listening to Standing in Fire. Ladies and gentlemen in internet land, and those of you who are currently playing shuffleboard, this is the Standing in Fire podcast, your one and only source for all things that have to do with Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, and maybe even a couple
things that are completely unrelated to Pantheon Rise of the Fallen.
Well, that's true, actually, right? It's, you know, there's actually, you know, well, I got a whole thing for that later. I'm not even going to spoil it. I've got some exciting things to share that you guys don't even know about. This is going to be pretty fun.
Oh,
but
really?
Yeah. But, you know, until then, we're just going to, kind of go with the standard plan. Well, welcome, everybody. I'm Boom. I'm joined by Tess and Militus, and we're going to pretty much just rock this show out because we've got to get to, we had a video of the actual Pantheon gameplay that happened this week. And I'm sure Militus has dissected that video. And he's going to tell us, like, which spell should have been hit when and not at the other times.
Actually,
and we're
going to
give him an opportunity
did all
to
the
do that.
dissecting this time. She's the analytical one this time. Yeah. She sure did.
Well, anyway, we're so glad that you're here. Thank you for all of those of you who join us week in and week out for this thing that we put on, and we're hoping that you're having a wonderful evening. Although if you live in Colorado, you got snow on May 1st, and it's stupid.
And if you live in Tennessee, it's 87, and that's also stupid.
Oh, so much better to be in Tennessee and not have it be snowing. Because
you would drown in Tennessee. It's so humid.
Well,
you've never lived in a humid place.
That's true. I have not lived in humidity.
Southeast Texas is humid, where
I've
Nikki
been to
lives.
humidity.
In Louisiana, that's humid. Ugh.
Well,
It's
all I
gross.
know is I'm still
take,
freezing my
3
buns
showers.
off, and I'm wearing my parka, and that's it. Just feels.
I'm literally wearing a turtleneck right now. I was so chilly.
Oh, God.
It's so ridiculous.
That's
The
ridiculous.
good news is
That
that the Dell is being cooled by the cool air of Colorado tonight, so
By the
that
May
should
snow.
that should help keep it.
I just
you know,
realized it's
from
May
overheating.
Day.
It is.
It
May
is.
Day. It is
And we're
May
just
Day.
a few days from May the 4th. Ooh,
Yes.
I know.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
Cinco de
Are
Mayo.
we going to read
Drinking
from
Star Wars burritos.
Yeah,
Are
I'll
we
pull
going to
it out.
read
We
from
can-
Star Wars again? Is that a thing? Because
Yeah,
we're not going to
maybe
obviously
next-
have a show May the
Oh,
I'll
4th.
pull it out
to.
again.
Oh, we have to.
I'll
What-
find it. It's in my room. We'll
Okay,
read
so-
from Shakespearean Star Wars again.
Which
100%.
part do I get to play this time? I was thinking.
Well,
Wookiee.
it depends on like what scene you want. You want to play Chewbacca?
Yeah,
Okay.
I just does Chewbacca have Shakespearean lines, or does he still just growl?
I think he just still just goes. I think it just is.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll pull it up.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. Tess, tell everybody how they can get a hold of us.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Me. All right. You can visit our website at stopstandinginfire.com. You can email us at stopstandinginfire@gmail.com. You can tweet us. You can reach out to us as a show at SIF Podcast. Oh, yeah. You can hit up Boom at Boom Tap Live. Militus at Old Militus. Or me, Tess, the foxiest of the ladies, at Deep Buff This. You can join us. We're live on Wednesdays at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific at twitch.tv/standinginfire podcast. Or you could send in a sexy phone call at 702-625-1337.
That spells leads. Hell yeah.
Now, I don't understand why the Dell is having such a hard time.
Did you hear the hiccup? The literal
Yeah, oh,
hiccup
yeah.
of the Dell. Like you can
Yeah.
hear it. It's like
You can actually hear, you can hear the Dell trying to shift MP3 tracks. Like it struggles with that. You know,
I think what's happening is you got the IRQ channels. Hold on, IRC. No, interrupt request channel. IRC channels. You got your IRC channels all screwed up.
It's probably something like that.
IRC. Oh my lord!
It's probably something like that.
For our young listeners that were born
Yes.
not in the 80s,
They don't know the
you
challenge
don't know
of
the IRC.
Or if you set your device to the wrong interrupt request, how it wouldn't work.
Oh my
gosh, so much fun.
Yeah,
Well,
you had to have like a minor in computer programming to ever get IRC to work.
Very true. That's
Yeah, this
very
is
true.
punk. This is Project 99 hardware style, baby. We're going.
Yeah.
We're going.
We're
all the
going.
way
This
back
is
to EverQuest.
1999. Yeah, no doubt. Like the only thing that is not 1999 is the fact that we're coming to you live from a basement with multiple streams of high quality, high definition audio. Right?
Yeah.
You know, anyway. Yeah, we got lots going on.
36.6 baud modems, baby.
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
Pushing our sweet sound to the internet.
We're not on
Sweet.
AOL. That's
No.
how you know it's not.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and we're gonna get into the stream. Let's just start talking about this thing. Let's roll in and talk about the VR stream with. Okay, now how do I pronounce his name?
Co.
Carnage.
Why does it look like I keep seeing the other H because I can't see without glasses, and
Are you
and
trying
so
to,
it
like,
looks like COHN. No, it looks like Con. I thought it was Con
Oh.
Carnage, but it's Co Carnage.
Yeah.
So before we deep dive into Co Carnage's
Yeah.
awesome stream,
But who's the
What
Co
about
of the Co Carnage? There's only
it's
one of
him.
them.
It's one dude.
You
It's
can't
just one dude.
pluralize Co with, you know what I'm saying? It's like that old 80s movie when you had the Lone Rangers. You can't say Lone Rangers.
Because that it doesn't work.
It doesn't
can't-
work.
If,
It doesn't
if
work.
there's
I mean, it
Lone
doesn't work.
Rangers, then they're not lone anymore.
Just look at his subscriber numbers. It clearly doesn't work.
Yeah, it clearly doesn't work.
Great.
I mean, standing in fire works.
Yeah, you know,
Co
standing in
Carnage,
fireworks.
You got to get with it, brother.
Yeah, come on, Co. So
Yeah,
here's the thing,
before
Co
the
Carnage.
stream, we totally got 3
If
more
you want to
subs.
have,
Yes.
if you want to
Suck
have,
on that, Co.
yeah, if you want to have a sick, like 50 listener base like we do, you got to start like
Or tens
getting
of
with it.
listeners.
Yeah, so just you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and like you stream for 2,000 days.
Right.
1 year we streamed for 2,000 minutes.
Right. We did like 23 weeks in a row before we had to take a break. So
That is 26.
Yeah.
Is it 26 our record?
I think so.
in
I
a
think
row
26,
before,
so.
yeah, and you know,
So we're gonna push it. We're gonna push it this time, right? We're gonna push it beyond the
Well,
26.
Yeah, I mean, I am gonna be on Boom's World Tour.
That's
It's
true.
only U.S. It's
Yeah.
Boom's U.S. tour, I should say.
Well, let
And-
get us back on the rails.
Yeah.
from
Okay.
Boom's
No, that's
tour.
fine. But I don't want to be off the
'Cause,
rails. But I
you
just
know, I'm
I
trying
needed
to
to
be
address
really good this
Co-Carnage.
podcast.
All right.
I'm trying to be
Yes.
good and a positive member, and
Uh-huh.
I really want Tess to love me this podcast.
Yes.
I
So,
love
agree.
you always. I
agree.
love you always. I got a little miffed at the boys last week because I thought we went too far. But then I rewatched it and I was like, nope, I was just up my own ass.
No, I thought it was. Notice I'm drinking tea tonight. Not to say that. Having tea.
I have instead of my typical Tennessee moonshine, I've got water because
Water.
of last week.
I-
So I don't have anything
Yeah,
fun
and
to
look,
say.
and Tess is making up for all of us. She's got the nice.
But
beer.
usually I start with like vodka. I'm just doing a beer.
So I did share that little thing that we had come up last week with some coworkers, and it was kind of funny because we started thinking of what could you have two of and only one of that is funny, and so we were like, 2 Targaryens and only 1 throne, right?
Ooh,
We were coming up with all kinds of different things where you could have 2 of them and only one of the other thing, and it it's kind of weird. And if you want to know what that's all about, just go listen or watch last week's show and it'll make all sense.
I have a funny story to tell related to our incident last week in our Pantheon patient
Very good.
segment.
Okay,
So I'm gonna package it.
You're gonna
Uh-huh.
hold that. Okay, all right.
Oh, okay.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. So good. You started, and I interrupted you with the
No,
thing.
what I was just saying before
Okay.
we like deep dive into the stream, what if the three of us just talk about what we thought we might see?
Yes.
Like, what were our expectations? So, boom.
Okay.
What was your expectations of the stream before it started rolling? Before you watch it, what about you? What do you think you were going to see?
Well,
what were your thoughts?
Okay, what I expected and what I wanted to see.
There we go.
I wanted to see an actual not dungeon, because that's all I've ever seen. So I wanted to see an outside world. Like, I wanted to be out in the trees and the that. I just wanted to see a little bit of that. And I was hoping, because they'd been talking so much about...
That's a really interesting point. Yeah.
There are some streams. You have to kind of go back ways.
But you know what I mean? With all the new stuff they're talking about. They're giving me some hype about some of that. So I wanted to be able to see like something outside, and then they're talking about these mobs having all these cool characteristics and stuff. I was hoping to see a little more of that. So
gotcha.
I most of the mobs, for the most part, in the stream had a kind of a very typical vibe to it. Like, it didn't seem like it was like advanced from EQ days. It just seemed like it was the same kinds of mobs and the same kind of stuff. It was just a little fancier.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So,
you're saying that you were expecting to see that the thing where they had the tags at the beginning,
the disposition system.
Yeah, the disposition.
Yeah, that would have been cool, or even just like more variety. So they're like, hey, we got these four guys here. We're gonna definitely have to deal with this one guy different. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there was a tiny little bit of that in a couple places, but it wasn't there. And that's kind of what I wanted to see. My actual expectation was probably what we just saw, because it was, to be honest, that's what they are going to show us right now. There's no way they're going to jump on board and show us what they're doing and all the hard work that they've been doing right now. They're just essentially... Right now, they're at that stage of just needing to string us along with some information. They're not going to be able to give us anything big, so that it didn't it didn't surprise me what we saw. I just had hoped for something a little different, but that's okay. It didn't matter. I also don't care, because I really am not interested in this stuff. I don't want to know what the game's going to be like until the game comes out. I'm scared to death of spoiling it. I just want to experience it at launch. I'm going to do that with this. I'm staying completely out of alpha. I just want to play it at launch.
This coming from the guy who game hops like crazy, but I'm gonna take your word for it. Tess, what about you? What was your expectations, and what did you?
I'm kind of with Boom. I kind of expected it to see a little bit of outdoor stuff, because when they teased that they were going to talk about the climbing system, they showed the climbing animations afterwards, but I thought maybe we would see more of that. But I wasn't disappointed with what we saw. It's not like my expectations were wildly, unfulfilled or anything like that. So I thought it was a good stream. I thought it was informative and fun, and I think that they touched on a lot of stuff. So I thought it was a good stream.
What's the name of the lady that was doing the voice?
Oh, Brass. That's Linda.
Yeah.
Brass.
Linda.
She has to actually be Scottish. That was way too
pretty
good.
fantastic.
She loves role playing.
It was pretty fantastic. I want to commend her on
Carlson.
that.
Linda Carlson.
Listen,
Carlson's
I'm just saying this right now.
It was pretty fun.
As a theater teacher, I have had to do a lot of dialect work, and that was killer. If she's not actually Scottish, I will be shocked.
That was chat saying she's not. She's not.
I had so much fun just listening to her kind of go for that. And
I want to be her friend.
I do too. I do too.
I want her to play my
D&D
cool game.
Well, we need to invite her.
Oh, go ahead. No, yeah, we need to invite her.
We need to invite her on the show, but she has to be her character. She doesn't she has to come
would.
on that
Are you
way,
kidding?
and she would do that.
Loves
That's
being a
so
dwarf.
You know what I'm saying?
She's such a fan of dwarves. It's not even funny.
Yeah,
She
and
loves
she was
it.
she was a dwarf cleric. I just wanted to add.
Yes,
and,
she was.
and
I know Minus
I-
will point that out.
And I just wanted to make sure we didn't look. If we look right here at Militus's screen, you'll see a
You'll see a dwarf
cleric.
druid.
Yeah, a dwarf
Hashtag, I'm
druid.
announcing it tonight.
what? No way.
I've got it inside.
You're
I
not
got it-
doing
I got it
druid.
inside. I'm going to be a dwarf druid. You guys just don't know it yet, but they're
No.
coming. Hashtag
No,
TM soon. Yep.
you're
Yep.
not going to be a druid. Why would you? Why would? It was clear to me from the stream that dwarf was the thing to play, or cleric was the thing to play. It was. It was made so
Yeah,
evident
they were
in that
talking
stream.
about all of the different like healing.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was something
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
write down, but them talking about like how the warrior worked and how the cleric worked, and that was really fun.
That
It was
fun.
obvious that I'll just call her Brass.
Yeah, Brass. That's
Brass.
her Twitter handle. Her camera handle.
It was just obvious that Brass knew her stuff, and I loved how she was just super efficient with explaining it too. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I was like, the moment she said it, I was like,
Uh-oh, we froze.
right now. Love
I was
her.
at work, ended up getting out of a commitment, and so I was at work, but I didn't have to be doing anything, so I kind of snuck in my office and closed the door, and watched the stream, and she had them going. I mean, they were loving her. People just were raving, and then on the YouTube video they were raving, and Reddit they were raving about.
I'm gonna
her.
make her a shirt. I'm gonna make a shirt that says hashtag Brass is best.
There you go.
Is that what you?
Hashtag
Yeah,
Brass.
that was what you came up with. Is yeah.
On
right.
the spot. I'm
All
not very smart, you guys.
Yes, you are. Well, my thoughts were, going into it, I don't know. I guess my thought was after it, what I kept saying was be careful for what you wish, because my whole thing was like a lot of the community at the last week, or last month with the newsletter. I'm like, I just need some evidence of development. That's all. You know what I mean? I just want to see
Mhm.
some evidence. You don't have to show me everything,
Mhm.
but if we're a crowdfunding game, I argue there's got to be a degree of transparency, because
Yeah, that makes
we
sense.
are funding, all of us are
Mhm.
funding the game. So there should be some level of transparency showing us some evidence of progression.
Yeah.
Sure.
And there hadn't been for 4+ months, zero
Yeah.
evidence of that. So I was kind of making the argument, we got to see it. Well, we got it. We got to
Mm-hmm.
see some of that. Like, and we'll get more into detail in just a few minutes. But then the other side of me was like, be careful what you wish, because I felt like,
you don't
hey,
want too much.
well, like they showed the climbing, right?
Mhm.
And but they showed it real early stages.
Yeah.
And kind of like what Boom was saying earlier, part of me was like, maybe I wish I hadn't wanted to see the evidence of that. Like, it was cool to see how they were doing it, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to see a dude in a pair of like burnout jockeys climbing up the
No, you don't.
wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
I
don't
want
want
to see someone in full armor with a sword. And
yeah,
so part of me was like,
who was
be
it?
careful
Patton
for what you
Oswalt.
wish, Militus.
I think it was Patton Oswald said, "I don't want to know how the things that I love came to be. I just want to be I just want to love the things I love, right? I just want the things, because he was talking about how Star Wars, we had to learn the origin story of everything, and he was kind of like, I don't care. I just want the thing, right? I don't really want to know where Darth Vader came from, right? And that's how I feel about this sometimes. Is like sometimes being in the bowels of the game development is kind of weird, because I don't want to know how they made it climb. I just want to have it climb.
But I mean, it was very interesting.
It's
Don't get me wrong.
interesting,
it was really interesting,
right? Yeah,
but at the same time, I was like so taken aback. Like when the stream was going on, I was like, the lighting, the textures. Tess is going to talk about this in a minute. And we went from that to this dude in some 1986 skivvies.
Yeah, right.
Going up the wall, and I'm like,
Some boxer briefs.
I was kind of
We could
jarred. You know
tell
what I mean? I
that
was like,
that guy was not 2-in-1. We could tell.
I was jarred by it. It was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And he's grabbing like these knobs, and I kept thinking of all these inappropriate things, which I'm not going to discuss, Tess.
Okay, good.
But you
Yeah.
can discuss it.
Yeah,
I don't
you
care.
can't.
No. I'm like, no.
We're
I'm
done
just kinda
talking about
But
knobs.
It did jar. it did jar me a bit, but it was very cool that they were open to being transparent for those who love that part.
And it's
I
and,
agree.
My screen just go black.
and we get to
we see you.
Okay.
Yeah, we see you just fine.
My screen
And
went black. No.
you know, I'm
Yeah, we're
glad
good,
that
we're
we
good.
get to grab knobs. That's one of the things
Yeah,
I
me
was
too.
hoping for in this game was to be able to grab knobs. And we now know
There were a lot of knobs.
we're gonna grab knobs. There's a whole wall of knobs, and you'll get to grab all the knobs you want.
Yeah.
So
It totally reminded me of like a rock wall.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Except again, I'm gonna go very immature here. I've seen some pictures of very creative rock walls.
Oh,
And it,
really?
Yes.
Yeah.
You've never
Oh,
seen
yeah.
those before?
No, I've never. No, I haven't.
There is literally like a penis rock wall. You've never seen that.
Oh
No, I've
yes,
never
yes.
seen
Where
that.
you have to grab dongs as you go.
Yeah,
No,
as you go up.
I did not know
Swear
about
to
Yes.
God.
that.
Yes.
That does not exist. Are
Yes,
you
it does.
For real?
Yes, he's
Okay,
absolutely
challenge
for real.
accepted. Boom.
Yeah,
We
it's
got to
for,
end the
it's
stream
on.
with a dong wall.
We'll have to find. I'll find a dong wall while we're talking.
Yeah,
What do you guys think about climbing in general, though? Like, what?
No, I love it.
I love it. I
I
love
love
it.
it. Okay,
I love it.
That's a thing
I
you guys
love
are
the
excited
idea-
about.
Yeah. Well, okay. So last week we were talking about exploration and how excited we were. And we talked about the Goonie ship thing. I just posted that video, by the way, to our Twitter. So you can see. And my favorite thing is you can see me, I'm streaming it, and you can see me come down out of this hole and then like look around and be like, all right, I have to get over there. How the hell do I get over there? And you can see me looking around and figuring it out. Oh, look, there's some stuff up there, and I bet I have to go over this way and then jump puzzle over to this way. And so that's for me. I'm super excited for climbing because it'll be the same thing. It'll be like,
Yeah.
how do I get over there? Well, let's see. Where are the walls? What can I climb?
Do you think they're gonna make that kind of difficult like it is in Guild Wars 2? Do you think that the climbing thing is going to be kind of like the jumping puzzles in Guild Wars 2? Is this going to
I
be
hope
something
so.
that's going to frustrate
I hope
me
it will be. Yeah.
and make
do.
me
I hope
me
so.
so
And
so
I hope
angry?
that it's not evident what you can climb and what you cannot. Like, I hope it's not. I hope the degree of contrast is subtle. So I don't want there to be like, oh, clearly here is a texture gradient going up the side of this cliff that looks like I could definitely walk up and climb that. Rather, like I'd have to really look at the environment to see what I can climb.
And maybe you can climb straight up this way, but then a dead end. So maybe you have to like go back and like try to puzzle it out like a maze or something. I don't know. That could be cool. I don't think that it will be. Now, don't forget, in Guild Wars 2, there were some really hard jumping puzzles.
Yeah,
that's
and
what
then there were
Lorraine
some
was saying.
really
Yeah.
there's some
ones,
crap that's like
you know.
almost impossible. Now,
Well,
I
that
think
Christmas.
you're
is
better
it
for it.
Christmas?
No,
Oh,
it
yeah,
was the
no,
tower,
no.
the
Oh,
Halloween tower.
The
That
Halloween
one was
tower. Oh my
impossible.
God.
From hell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that
is.
one
It
was
is
impossible.
hardcore, but you know, I'm not totally opposed to it. I mean, it is kind of cool if you get better at games, by doing some of that. But I'm just saying, if it's going to be kind of a puzzly thing, that's a little different. I guess I don't know exactly where they're going with climbing, because climbing to me indicates a little bit of stealth and like ninja-ing around. And MMOs haven't ever really gone there before, so I'm trying to figure out if that's what they're trying to do. If they're kind of saying you are going to have to kind of like sneak up on
Get the
stuff.
high ground, or
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, that's just a little different. Other than that, like I'm being critical, but I don't exactly know what the purpose of climbing would be.
Well, I think we're discounting one big system here tonight. We're talking about climbing, but we're not talking about it in the same context with the other system that I think it's logically married to, and that is what? That's the
perception system.
Perception system. I just lost it for a second. Yeah, the perception system tied with climbing means great adventure in my mind.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
and maybe you won't be able to tell what you can climb, but as you like gain levels in perception system, you can start to kind of figure it out. Or
right.
That's fine. I am all for puzzles, because I think there should be puzzles, because it's when you get past a puzzle that you didn't even know was there, that's when some of those awesome exploration moments come. Yeah. So
and we're getting a lot of people in chat that are like, hey, like Game Master Zero, Florian, others people are going, some of those jump puzzles are just
I agree. No,
too
I
much.
agree.
And I get it. Some of them were definitely too much.
Yeah, they were.
But again, if it's tied in with the perception system, and I think it will make a lot more sense than some of the jumping puzzles we've seen in other games.
Sorry to interrupt, but I have Grope Mountain is actually the name of the climbing wall there, and I've put it on the. I
gotta see it. Oh my god! Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah. So
you weren't joking.
Yeah,
you
so
were
there,
not joking.
I told you.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
You
so
thought I was.
So
crap.
Now, I would commend Pantheon for adding a Grope Mountain. I'm just gonna say.
God. So is that what the perception system does? You just see penises everywhere.
Yeah, that's you perceive naughty parts.
Grope Mountain. That's
oh my
funny.
Lord!
I would love to see Grope Mountain in the game, and I believe Pantheon. I believe they're gonna have to listen to that. You know what I mean? Because
now listen,
everybody would want to go over to Grope Mountain once. It would be like this game's Goonie ship. You'd have to locate where Grope Mountain is. You'd have to you'd be like, I know where the location of Grope Mountain is. I'll take you there. And you could take tour groups over there and show them this is Grope Mountain. Here it is. And everybody could climb Grope Mountain and it would be a lot of fun.
That is hilarious. That is so funny. But I do understand
hidden Easter egg.
I do understand why people don't like jump puzzles. And I'd be okay if there weren't quote unquote jump puzzles, but I think that we're going to see puzzles. You know what I mean? How do I get over there? And you have to be creative in figuring out how you get to a place. So,
yeah.
I mean, the disposition system sounds very much puzzle oriented.
And
we're going to talk about the second. Perception system sounds like that to me, and like they hinted at it in the stream, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So,
and Fortune mentions what happens when you fall.
I bet you die.
Yeah.
And there's got to be ways that you fall.
No, on Grope Mountain.
On Grope Mountain?
It could get interesting.
What happens if you fall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could get interesting on Grope Mountain.
Well, what did you guys think of the group makeup in the stream? Because it was very different than what we've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
It was support heavy.
It was support heavy. It was DPS light. I thought that was great. I thought it was nice to see that, you can do different things like that. You can mix and match. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to go, we need 3 DPS and 1 healer and 1 tank. You can.
I loved it. I guess I was disappointed in a lot of the chat because there's a lot of people there, obviously from co-stream, that aren't following Pantheon.
Mm-hmm.
We are. And so I saw a lot of comments like, well, he's never going to die. And comments like, wow, it's combat. That mob takes forever to kill. But they didn't understand the group makeup. That was why. Yeah. I mean, normally, like when they run with a group with 1 healer and some DPS and a tank and 1 CC, they wipe. Like if you go watch the other streams, they get their asses kicked in those streams. Mm-hmm. But this stream, you had basically what you had. You had Araduna obviously on a warrior. You had Ko on a warrior. You had a paladin, you had a shaman, you had a cleric, and then you had enchanter. So it was a support heavy build, and that's why they weren't dying, and that's why the mobs are taking longer to die. So
I think it's funny that Fortune in chat is saying that was too fast. Whereas I've heard a lot of people saying the opposite, like that was way too slow. And I can see what they mean by that. I don't think it was necessarily slow, but also keep in mind we were watching it from the perspective of the tank. And whenever you watch something from the perspective of the tank, it's going to seem like I'm kind of stationary here, because that's the tank's job, is to pull and to get it away from people. And then you usually don't have a lot of stuff to do. You just keep threat. That's your job.
Yeah.
So I think I don't think it was too slow. I don't think it was too fast. I think it was a good pace. And the devs even said that the pacing of it was purposefully chosen so that you can think as you're going, because you have to have a chance to react in real time. So that, because if it was faster, you wouldn't be able to react.
I love it when Brad always reaffirms that in the streams, which he did again this time. And again, that strategic gameplay. Not if you want spam, chase DPS meters. There's plenty of games out there to do that. This is not the way this game is designed.
No.
But still, invariably, you saw those comments in the chat, and that disheartened me a little bit because I don't want that to jade.
It's not jade. I think
well,
the other thing,
the other thing that they said that I thought was really important to note is, again, even though we were watching it from the perspective of the tank, the devs were like, now also don't forget that there are a butt ton of unique individualized animations that haven't been put in yet. You know, every single time you do this or that or the other, you're going to get a different animation for this, and it'll be really fun to watch.
Okay, so I got a big question for you. So it was about an hour stream. I don't know, maybe a touch longer than that. And they kind of went through some mobs and got to a boss. How long do you think an actual dungeon run is my first question. And then my second question that I'm going to pose to everybody, and chat can chime in on this, is since there's no instances, and they mentioned that the door is going to shut on you. Well, hold on though. The door is going to shut on you. Okay? So I'm thinking one in a zone, the door shuts, and Militus might have the magic bullet and answer, and he's going to fix all this for me. But if it takes an hour and a half to run a dungeon, let's just pretend, and that door shuts, does that mean only one group on a server is going to get to run the dungeon in an hour and a half?
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Because there's a Reddit post about
that.
There's
a Reddit post that we're going to talk about.
Okay. So what do you think though for my first question?
How long? I think it depends on the goal of your group. Like sorry, Terry the psychologist is coming out, or Militus the psychologist. It's about mindset. So if you go into this game thinking I have to start at point A and I have to clear all the trash, I have to kill the final boss, and I have to get my loot drop, that's the wrong mindset. So your question is coming from a different mindset.
Okay.
It might be, Boom, that we camp a spot and you, Tess, and I, and a couple more people, we log out in that spot. And we come back the next day and we're still in that same spot camping for a while.
Everything's respawned.
Yes, that's the whole point of camping. Yes. You can't wait for those respawns to come so you can kill them again, or try to get loot out of that next spawn.
Understood that, but I'm not progressing. I'm just camping.
Yeah, but I mean it's
a different type of progressing.
Yeah. Yeah, again, it's mindset. You're thinking
that's definitely not my mindset. I'm just going to tell you, if I'm just going to be camping a mob all day, right?
But
that's not all you'll do.
How many times do you run chain run dungeons?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, how fun is that?
Well,
it's a similar idea.
It depends on if
do you
there's
really
a
want to
rock
go back to the
wall
model
with
of
penises
speed running?
Right?
Do you really want to go back to speed running?
No, and that's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm just saying, like, there's got to still be a block of play that people are expecting to play. So I have to log into my computer and say, okay, I've got this set amount of time, hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is, and I want to do something in that amount of time. And if all I'm doing is camping one spawn point for 3 hours, it's not very engaging.
Well, I think it's really hard for you to make that argument because you've never really felt it. I mean, you started playing MMOs later, right? And so did I, by the way. And so I've experienced in EQ2 a little bit, but we've never really experienced it like that. So I think you got to give it a shot first. You give a shot about camping, kind of a different mindset about dungeons. It might just be we go into the dungeon in the very beginning of it. And there's a quest in public dungeon, and we're only doing one wing of it. Like in EverQuest 2, you'll see that a lot where have and they've said in streams before that dungeons will be tiered with different levels of mobs. So you have one tier, let's say with level 15 mobs, one tier with level 25, one tier with 35. So if you happen to stumble into that level 35 and you're level 15, you're going to get your ass kicked and you don't want to be there. So it does you no good to run that whole dungeon. You would only want to do the wing or camp in the wing that's designed for your level and maybe do the quest in that area. I think we've kind of forgotten how cool that was over the years because we've kind of thought of dungeons as like loot pinatas.
Yeah.
And dungeons used to
You got to
be
think
the
of it
thing
more as a zone.
where it was like a questing area that was hard. You know, it was you couldn't do it by yourself. You had to get a group of people together and it was difficult. But you got good drops, you got great experience. That's something else that can't be lost. Like you can really level a lot faster with groups in those areas. So all those things, you got to consider all those things.
I'm just a little worried about snowballing. I'm just worried about a bunch of people just like gathering up around one thing and just, you know, pretty soon there's 80 people there just camping the same thing. And that just gets a little weird. That's all I'm saying. Then you're like, okay, I got to move on, and you move on to a different spot. I don't know. There's just some stuff there that I'm not.
It'll be that way in the beginning, but not.
Yeah. There's some stuff.
You and I are going to get left behind.
I'm not totally. In 2019, there's some stuff I don't know that 1999 works with.
No, and they know that.
That's what I'm saying.
They know that. It's not going to be all like that. And then and another thing too, and Art had pointed this out to me when we were playing EverQuest 2 last week or week before. EverQuest 2 did a pretty, like they have a lot of public dungeons in EverQuest 2. But that haunted manor place I was telling you guys about, that was instanced. So not all the dungeons in EverQuest 2 are public. There are some that are instanced, and they're instanced for a reason because it was freaking hard. And so when you clear the trash, you don't want to re-clear the trash.
Re-clear it, yeah.
Yeah. So they'll design it that way.
Yeah. So we'll talk more about this. I have more comments on the whole instancing situation, but since we're gonna fold this into I think the Reddit post. Yeah. I don't want to beat a dead horse yet.
Yeah. Me too. Yes. So what about?
And this was really cool. It was really fun to see the enchanter doing their enchanter thing, doing some CC, baby. CC is back. Woohoo! That was awesome. Like it really makes me go, maybe I will play an enchanter because I love CC. You know, so tank, enchanter. I don't know. What I do know is I will not go pure DPS class. I can't do that anymore.
You say you're going to go enchanter, but did you notice what happened during the stream? There was a pretty big moment that only the most dedicated Pantheon fans will have noticed. There was a pair of plate gloves that dropped.
Oh, I remember. He was super excited for that. He got 2 drops. He got that and a sword.
But on the tooltip, it said Bard. So are you really going to stick with your claim that you're going to play Enchanter?
It said that on the tooltip?
Bard on the tooltip. Yes.
Okay.
As classes that can wear that armor, it said Bard.
Really?
Yes. She's going to squeak.
Okay. I'm okay. Hold on.
So I was kind of shocked. I mean, maybe I just.
How did I not? Well, I wasn't watching I was watching it on my tablet, not on my computer, so it was hard to see the tooltips. But I can't believe that. Are you freaking serious right now?
Bard's coming, baby. Confirmed. Bard. # Bard confirmed. Right here. You heard it first on Sif Podcast.
Well, Nathan is like, no. Everybody knows this except for you, Tess, you dumbass. There you go. That's what I'm playing. I'm playing a bard.
Bard wearing plate. Holy cow! How could you like strum your instrument if you're wearing plate?
That's kind of strange. But you have to have plate because you're just gonna like the drummer in the army is not exactly gonna survive.
Maybe it's like a metal bard.
The attack. Yeah.
Yes. It's literally a heavy metal bard.
Actual heavy metal bard.
Love it so much. I'm so excited. Oh gosh, see, now usually I name all of my characters Tess something, but I don't know if I get to play like a bard. I might have to bring back Joan Jett.
There you go. There you go. What about the animations and the graphics?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you guys think?
Oh, they had some cool. I thought the new animations and graphics, I thought it looked pretty. The textures got updated from things that I'd seen before. The lighting was so cool. It was so,
it was very nice.
Even like at the very, very beginning where Pally, was it the Pally that had the flaming sword?
I think that was no, that was Eridan that had the flaming sword.
Was that the
warrior?
shaman?
That's his. No, Eridan plays his classic green with. Is that what you're talking about with the flaming swords? Well, at one point he had a torch and his sword.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Brad McQuaid, Eridan's his character. That's the one he's always played.
That was cool. Like all the dynamic lighting was nice.
Yeah, it just looked. I couldn't quite pinpoint when I was watching it what was different. Like I know you talked about textures and things, but I'm watching. I'm like, it looks good. I don't know what they did, but if it's lighting, if it's textures, or both, but it just looked better than the last time we'd seen it, which is great. This is what I wanted. I want to see evidence that the game's moving forward, and to me, that was great evidence that the game's developing.
I'm hoping that they're designing it for 8K TVs because by the time it's out, it's going to be 8K.
Stop.
So I'm hoping they get it real. Now, I'm not being mean. I'm just saying, you got to future-proof this thing a little bit. So I'm hoping they're going with 8K textures because 8K is going to be a real thing. Like all the new game systems are coming out. Everybody's going 8K. So.
Okay, I made this point last time or the time before. I can't remember. I'm not going to belabor it.
Yeah, you're right. Belabor.
Okay, sorry.
You got it.
Words are hard. I wasn't going to belabor it, but like I hope again, it's good enough in my mind. Right now. Well,
what we saw.
Right now, those graphics. To me, ship. Don't do like a Star Citizen and like keep striving for realism and like Boom would say there's gonna be an 8K monitor. Like it's good now. Like I think it looks beautiful. Work on animations, work on game systems.
And I think the character models still need some work.
Right now look ship ready to me. I mean 100%. Let's do it. Roll the game. Don't get in this trap of being a perfectionist with us.
Militus is ready to go.
I think that's a deep trap.
Militus is ready to go. Militus is like,
Nathan says, take our money.
Take our money.
Speaking
let's go.
I didn't mention it last week because I was up my own butt. But guess what I did last week? Literally on the stream while we were streaming, I upped my subscription.
Did you really?
I did. I tossed him some more monies.
What did you?
She's making fat stacks of cash.
Are you trying to work your way to the alpha pledge, or are you beyond that?
I want it. Well, okay. My end goal is to get to Founders Guild, which is the one.
The VIP, the 10 grand. Is that what you're?
Yeah,
the 10 grand. Yeah, totally.
She's ready to drop that right now.
Super ready.
I had 10 grand. I had text messages with her this week. I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna work on hiring you. Let me get kind of some." And so, I got salary requirements and stuff like that. Let's just put it this way: she's ready to roll the 10 grand. So, at any moment, she's gonna be popping that thing.
After watching Nathan's video, I'm ready to up mine to the. I think it's the $300 mark you get to the
That's what I'm
Founders
working
Guild.
to. Yeah.
And I'm at the $250 mark right now, but like hearing him talk about it, like, throwing some ideas around about like what we might do and how you might hang out and stuff. I think that's a really cool area. So I'm definitely going to work my way up to that 350.
I want to do that
300.
Yeah. That's where I'm working towards.
I think that and I wasn't picking on the character models and stuff. I just want to be clear. I am.
They still need some
though.
work.
No, I'm just saying though, it doesn't. And I agree with Militus. It looks fine, but you want to future-proof it a little bit. If this is a game that you think you're going to be supporting for 10 years, you do want to make your graphics as high def as you can, because when everything gets upscaled, you want it to be like sharp. That's really all you want. you just want everything to look sharp. It doesn't have to be, like you said, hyper realistic, any of those things. That's not what I'm asking for. Just sharp. Like just not
It's a
make it look
balance.
like it was made for an 800 by 600 monitor, right? You know,
No. You're right. It's a fine balance, but
it's got to be there.
But it's like Militis just said, fine balance between wanting. I understand what he's saying. He's saying is like, if you go down that rabbit hole, there is no end to that rabbit hole.
Or do you want to build the graphics to support the game for the next 10 years, or do you want to be building the game for the next 10 years?
you want to start building it. No, you want to you know
what I mean? Like,
you want to build the foundation of your
far.
house. No, you want to build the foundation of your house with what you're expecting, how long you're expecting to live in it. You want to put that in there now, because
that's funny, because
World
you
of
and I
Warcraft
differ
is
on this.
World of Warcraft is struggling now because they have all these old zones, and like they have like 15 years of content they can't use.
Okay, sir, you have drawn my ire.
Oh
now.
my gosh!
Just
Here
prepare
we
to
go.
be
Here we go.
Listen.
All right.
Okay. Do I have to
Warcraft.
separate you two?
Hold on.
Yes,
down there.
He pressed the button. He pressed my button.
I pressed some sort of a button. I don't even know what it
Militis
was.
is triggered.
Sir, this is you make my point 100% with that previous statement you just made.
All right.
World of Warcraft has some of the most beautiful graphics of any MMO ever designed right now. The problem with World of Warcraft is their systems suck. The philosophy of the game is horrible. The systems are horrible. I want to go run island expeditions. Want to go speed run dungeons? I mean, do I need to go on? Now, when I get in those dungeons, every one of them look amazeballs good. But sorry, I'm not in it for mythic speed runs. That's not my idea of fun. And so, see, you actually proved my point by saying that certainly they have made that game and they built that game so the graphics could scale up. They did that cartoony style and they kept making it better. But at the same time, they had great systems in the beginning that they've gotten away from. And that's why the game has suffered right now, in my humble opinion. So I think Pantheon can learn from that.
What I'm going to disagree with you is one thing.
Got to have the good systems.
I'm going to disagree with you with one thing, because they did build it to scale up like that. And the problem is that they have to abandon old content because they didn't future-proof it. And it needed to be future-proofed. And we live in 2019 when we know how this works. And so if they build things with high-res graphics now, those zones don't go away later. And that's the big thing. You want to be able to play all of the zones in the future. You don't want to take large areas that they work real hard in building that are beautiful and have them be obsolete in 2 years. Which is what currently goes on.
Everyone's giving me blowback. I like cartoony graphics. Hell, I was a huge fan of WildStar. I think WildStar is one of the most beautiful games.
I like
awesome.
them too.
Yeah.
And that's what the reason I like the more stylized graphic is, because if you go for realism, you're never going to get there. It's always going to look a little alien and weird, and so
go play Secret World today and look how well it's aged.
Right, Secret World is not aged well. WoW aged very well for what it was, but I'm still saying, like, they just didn't ever plan for the future. Instead, they just kept making incremental levels, and I'm just saying, like, I would rather them spend a little more time now, get some things in place.
It's balance.
I'd rather them do that.
Aesthetics, they needed to balance.
Especially if I'm going to be camping the same mob for 4 hours a night.
There we go. And you will.
If I'm camping the same knob, if I've got one
knob,
if I'm holding on to one knob on the wall all night.
Slip.
Yeah, if I'm holding on to a knob all night.
Flipping a knob tonight. Way to go, Boom. I have one simple question. Do you camp your knob with your left hand, or do you camp it with your right?
I'm an ambidextrous knob camper. I can go either way. If I'm camping,
knob camper.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which way I go. But here's my problem. If I'm camping knobs all day, I want some 4K graphics minimum. I don't want to be camping.
Realistic
I don't want to be. Yeah. I'm not gonna be camping a low res graphics.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
You
saying?
want the knob to have definition. I get
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm climbing this rock wall that we're gonna have,
Oh man.
Knoberon or whatever we're gonna call it, and I'm grabbing onto knobs, I want it to.
Who was it?
I want it to
Somebody
be
in chat,
awesome.
and I wish I could remember. Somebody in chat said, when we were
Oh,
talking about that, they brought up, or like that gives a completely different meaning to the Grand Tetons.
Yes, I think that was
Yes.
Florane.
I
Yes.
think it was too.
Who also
you
just
know.
said that Boom wasn't seeing the veins.
What? Hey.
Oh God!
Hey now,
I'll leave
hey
that
now.
one alone. All right,
Yeah.
all right.
I want to see
So,
the
hey.
veins.
Shut up! Stop it! Stop.
So,
I would.
so on
know.
to the Discovery. Let's talk about Discovery in the
I don't want them cartoony either. I want 'em-
Tess, what
Yes.
what do you think about that crack in the wall?
Dude.
And what do you think about that? Where they're looking?
Hey, here's
Yeah.
a crack.
So
Here's a crack in the wall for you.
excited.
Look at this.
No,
no. There's a crack in the wall for you.
I'm nervous.
I'm scared.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm scared to see what's coming.
I'm really glad I'm wearing.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm really
See, right there.
scared.
There you go.
I'm really scared. I'm really glad that I wore my turtleneck because I can turtle.
Yeah,
can
turtle
just
out of
body.
this. Yeah,
Well, I thought it was great.
I did too. That was my favorite part of the stream. My favorite part.
What else
And we
you
kind of
got?
talked about it a little bit. Like, what I'm really excited for is doing that thing where, like in Guild Wars, that I would do all the time, where I would walk into a new space and go, "Ooh, look at that thing over there! I want to get over there. How the hell am I going to do that?" And you have to figure it out. And so, discovery, Easter eggs, finding stuff that people haven't really found before. And listen, I know that there's the kind of adage that's like, well, you can find anything. Nothing is going to be secret in like a year because you can just look everything up. Dude, Guild Wars, I'm sure that there had stuff, but I didn't even know to look up how to find the Goonie ship. I didn't even know that thing existed. So it's like, I have no issues with some puzzles like that.
It's
Those
all about
discoveries-
game design.
Oh my gosh, it's so much
You
fun.
can be
I can't
be
wait.
clever enough in the way you design the game that one doesn't feel compelled to go out and Google stuff. Like, they're. So let's go back to Secret World for a second. I like that game. It was a fun game. But some of those missions I would hit, they had built-in Google. Do you guys remember that? Like, they had a built-in browser because they knew the game just was designed so that you would go out to Google. But I've played other games.
That's not why it was put in. It was put in because they had like their own built-in wikis. Originally, it was so that you could go and like do your own research. So like you'd walk over, you'd see like a painting, and you'd be like, "This painting is from 1855," and you would Google the painting in their own wiki thing, and it would pretend like it was a different website.
Oh, that's cool.
That would lead you to something else. Like they like built a lot of like fake
But
websites.
people built guides around that, like Boom's
in the
talking
end,
about.
since it was a browser window, you could just pop up the browser window in game and type in what is the code for this door.
Are we going to have just individual guides for like the one mob I'm camping for 3 hours? Are we going to have like a guide? If you're camping the east central left mob, right? Which
when he
is
spawns
supposed to
and
be
he wrecks your ass,
and
he kills you and everyone in your group. Yeah, you're gonna
Right.
probably want to go out and figure out why he
the
killed
problem
you.
the problem is it's going to be random because of the disposition system. So every time that spawns, it's not going to be the same, right? So you can't really predict that. So now, one mob you're going to be okay. You're going to be able to kill them because your group comp works. The next respawn, you're not going to be able to. Is that going to end camping? Because it could potentially do that. It could potentially do that if every time the mob spawn, they're random, and you're camping it, you're going to run into mob groups that don't mesh well with your group, and it could wipe you. And
in terms of you're talking about like the disposition system, where
the disposition system. The disposition
but that's
system
where you
could
just back
stop
up.
camping.
But again, you back up, you retool your action bar with skills that help mitigate.
But the mobs change now. By that time, the mob's already different.
I mean,
You see what I'm
adapt,
saying?
overcome. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
But I'm
challenge.
saying-
I love it.
But I'm
Bring it.
saying, does that change it? Is that going to make it to where camping isn't a thing? Because it seems like everybody, even in chat, is overwhelmingly in favor of camping. Like that is a thing.
Yeah, they are.
And I'm gonna have to get my butt in gear and be okay with it. And
You will once
and
you
I'm
Once you
I promise.
experience
not.
it for the real
You
Okay.
will once you
All
experience
right.
it with friends. I promise you. will.
Pantheon #Pantheon positivity.
That's
no,
right.
I'm
That's
trying
right.
to do there, but I'm just saying it
Yeah.
sounds
I understand.
Or even
Listen.
dreadfully
patient.
boring, and I'm trying to be nice, but it
I
does
understand. I understand
what
your
I mean?
trepidation. I share some of it. Boom. I really do. I share
Mhm.
some of your trepidation. I am not a personal fan of a lot of non-instanced content, but I also can understand that the fact that it's probably because I haven't experienced a lot of it. And I definitely haven't experienced 2019 non instance content. Do you see what I'm saying?
And Dan 6543 says they hate camping, so they join you. Boom. They do not like camping in our chat. You have one supporter.
So
No,
listen,
that-
I understand
no,
what you're
that-
saying.
I don't think that, because even when we played Vanguard and we did a little EQ and stuff, I was getting a taste of that. We were camping stuff and we were doing that, and so I get it. I understand where they're coming from, and I understand that you're farming XP, you're doing lots of things. The XP grind is different. I'm totally understanding where all this is coming from.
But I don't want to sit for 4 hours waiting for a boss to respawn.
Yeah, and
But I
I
also
think they
don't
will
wanna just sit
not.
in one
And
place
I
for
don't
4
think that will
hours.
happen.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Either.
Yeah.
I'm-
I don't think that they'll do that.
I'm just curious
I-
how
they're
you
gonna be-
work that in a big server with the closed door thing. That's just,
You know
I
how you
we're gonna
work
talk
it?
about that in a
You
minute.
have to be patient, Boom. You have to be very, very patient.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna work it out. I'm trying. Hold on.
Gotta work
Excuse me,
on
when
being
is
patient.
Alpha gonna take place?
This game
when
never
is
coming out.
I said,
Remember
when
that
is
episode
Alpha?
next?
Hey, you better not make the game hard, I'm telling you. If I was to play this game and actually see it being put out,
Ah!
Well, here we go, guys. This is our Pantheon Patience segment. It's time for us to talk about what we did this week while we were being patient, waiting for Pantheon to come out. Tess, what did you do to be patient?
I
Work.
work.
You worked. You basically worked
was
so you could
hard.
up your. So you
Tess
could
and I
up
played
your,
the same game apparently.
Yeah.
I played baloney crap life work simulation. That's what
See,
I played.
I'm laughing. So I'm laughing because you're like, you're telling me earlier that you're upping your money and then you're working. So it's like that's what you've turned it into. It's your mini game is support Pantheon. That's
Exactly.
like your whole life game.
Nice.
Yep. I get up in the morning. As Nathan says, I say,
God is
God is good, and we're a day
With
closer
each
to the release.
passing day
Yeah.
brings us
Yeah.
a day to the launch of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. I can't do this
I
deep
can't,
voice.
There you
but yeah. So that's the game I played. I played Work Simulator 2019.
Work. I thought you said Orc Simulator. I said, what the heck's Orc Simulator? I want to play Orc Simulator. No, you played Work Simulator. Okay, all right. Gosh, it's hard
yeah.
getting old. Don't ever get old, everybody. You know, everybody is I know younger than me. Getting old stinks. You can't hear. I got my headphones cranked up to 11, and I'm still struggling. And it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Militus, how about you? What made you be patient?
Yeah, I kind of pulled a test, and I got caught up in real life too at the college this week with lots of stuff. So I literally, this is a rarity for me. In the last 7 days, I've not even logged into a game. But not that's
I
bad.
at least I at least had my Sunday D&D session.
Oh, cool.
So, well, we didn't play D&D because people were gone. So we played Tabletop Simulator. We played Dominion, and
I love
and
me
so
some
at least
Dominion. I love me some
we played-
Dominion.
Now, I did though have a great moment this past week in that I started something new. I want to tell you guys about. So as a college instructor, advisor, I have a lot of advising I do with students, and I've noticed that students just don't like to come in for advising. It's just I don't know, they don't like to come in to talk to their advisor. So I've actually started a new Twitch channel called College Advice. And this summer I'm going to be playing games, and I'm going to be talking like career, college planning, just life
I'll
skills, that
join
kind of stuff,
you.
while I play games. So it'll
That's
be
a
kind of cool.
great idea.
And I'm throwing it out to like all my college students and saying, hey, if you don't want to come into the office and talk shop, let's play games together. Talk shop.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Minus.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So
That's a good idea. I like it.
I'm starting that.
I like it.
And as a first stream on Monday night, I streamed my research students doing presentations of defending their research proposals. And then after we all went and watched Endgame.
You can't. I have it.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
this person died and this
I haven't seen it. Yeah. I can tell you about Game of Thrones, really, but that's all I can get to. Yeah. That's a very nice thing. I wish I had time to do that. I have
that's a
not
great
had time.
idea.
That is pretty.
I love
fantastic,
it. I love it
Melissa.
that yeah. If you ever want to play, if you ever playing something that I could join in on, yeah, I'd love to jump in.
That's very cool.
Cool.
That's very cool. All right. Are you gonna just?
I might create a sister show. Would you be mad if I made a sister show for high school students?
Not at all. Not at all. I think the thing is, we got to change the way we approach young people. And I'm not young anymore. I'm old militist for a reason. So I figured that maybe we need to reach more into their space instead of telling them they have to come to our space.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I think that it could
I like
be beneficial.
that. You guys do that. I'm gonna do a stream, and it's gonna be called Real Life with Boom, and I'm just gonna be like, all right, guys, this is what's gonna happen to you, and I'm just gonna lay
Life
it down.
is gonna suck.
I'm gonna be like,
get a helmet.
This is gonna suck. This is gonna happen to you. You gotta get your ass out of bed. You're gonna have to get your ass to work, and you're gonna have to make it happen. And I'm just gonna be like, Hard Knocks with Boom. And you guys are gonna build them up, and I'm gonna not tear them down, but I'm gonna be like, this is the real. Here, I'm gonna give you the real legit thing. You don't get to be anything you want to when you grow up. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna just tell you that right now, right? And I'm gonna give them the hard facts. Right, hard facts with Boom. That's what
the School of Hard Knocks with Boom.
Yeah, we'll call it hard facts. Yeah. Yeah, nobody's gonna watch me. Nobody watches me anyway. Nobody. I don't know what I'm talking about.
What are you kidding? They watch you dominate Assassin's Creed Odyssey
and Farming Simulator 17.
That was so fun. That was so fun. I forgot about that. That was so great. Yeah, nobody watches me anyway. I am 57% through with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, by the way.
Are you really? Wow. Did you play a lot though last week?
I play. So I get between 5 to 10 hours a week of gaming time. That's about all I get. And so I've got 100 hours in now of Assassin's Creed, and I'm 57% through with it. And I have 2 expansions that are waiting in the wombs. Jeez Louise, what is going on with me? What is my deal?
It's called Freudian slips.
Yeah.
Oh, golly. I have... Yeah. Anyway, I've got 2 expansions waiting for me to play, and I've been stuck on this game. Like I'm just telling you, I think the team at Pantheon is also fans of Assassin's Creed Odyssey because a lot of the things they're adding into the game are right from Assassin's Creed. I'm telling you, I think they see the goodness that is this game. It's the best game. Oh, here's how great it is. Okay. They just added a new character to the game. He's called Testiculus the Nut. They added that guy into the game. And if you defeat him, you get Testiculos nutcracker weapon. And it's a big giant hammer with 4 claws on it. There you go. See? Last night I did play a little bit of South Park. So if you haven't ever played South Park, that's a lot of fun. Tess is muted.
Did you play?
I was muted. Yeah.
Did you play the cracked
Yeah,
butthole? Whatever it's
I
called?
played Fractured
The fractured
Butthole.
butthole.
I've been
But
playing.
have you played the Casa Bonita expansion?
No, I'm not there yet.
I have to get it.
Yeah, the Casa Bonita.
Did you go to
expansion would be
Casa
sweet.
Bonita when you came out here, Militus?
I did not. No.
Okay, so we'll have to get him there.
Missed it.
I did play it, and I was kind of shocked. I was because my wife knew I was playing, and I was giggling, right? And I was playing this game, and she came in and she heard me giggling, and right when she comes around the corner, I'm playing the level where you're in the strip club, and it's absolutely hilarious. Something about South Park. And that
Everything about South Park.
It was just so over the top and ridiculous. It was kind of fun, and I did that just because I've been just grinding in Assassin's Creed, and I needed a kind of a pick me up, a little something different, because I've got 100 hours in that game, and it's just like, it's crazy. I got so much more to do, and the story is insanely good. It is just so engaging. It's crazy awesome. So pretty fun. Well, if I can ever find this, which I just did, and it's not
If you have fun, you might be from Tennessee.
We got one right off the back. All right. Well, if you
Surf Colorado?
we lost Tess. She's not even around. Oh my gosh. So much fun. So much fun. All right. Well, I didn't even have an answer for that. Militus he's just got me all confused about everything. Well, Militus, what do you got for us in your Reddit site?
All right. So I got a Reddit post that I thought was really interesting. It kind of ties back to some of our earlier conversations and one specific question that you had, Boom. And this was posed by Gurian Acom. I'm probably butchering that. Anyways, the title of it's Non-Instance Bosses Update from the Co-Carnage stream.
Yeah.
First, I really enjoyed Co-Stream. If you haven't watched it, you should. While they didn't show a new zone, I think what they did cover was a decent compromise. One of the things covered in the stream had to do with the handling of non-instance bosses. It looks like their go-to will be one of the ideas a few people have mentioned on here in the past, and that is locking down groups and a boss behind a door after the encounter begins. This seems like a good start, but questions still arise. What happens if more than one group enters before the door shut? Does the encounter lock to the first group to enter the room? If not, could you use multiple groups to cheese a fight?
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Assuming these issues will be addressed, I feel like the locked door method is a decent one. If there's a competition for a boss, the next group could wait outside the door. If the first group fails,
yeah, I keep losing you, Militus. Here, I'm gonna switch here. And we lost Militus. The system is down. The system is down. Let me figure out what's going on here, guys.
ready?
Action.
Yeah. So he's like, I hope the VR doesn't try to use the same strategy for open world bosses, like having them hide in caves, etc. One of the fun things about old school MMOs was encountering a boss mob, walking around the zone, and then picking a spot in the zone to fight them. And I concur. I think that would be a great loss if Pantheon didn't go that route. So, kind of tying it back to the stream, question for chat, question for you guys: how good is everyone with the idea of maybe being the go-to mechanic for locking groups into encounters in open world dungeons. Does everyone think that that's sufficient? I guess is my question.
I think that if you're not going to instance, I think that at least this shows that they're thinking ahead to how they can get things like that to work. Now, also on the stream, what I really liked is I don't remember who said it, but they were standing there talking, and one of them goes, "We better go because it's going to respawn soon." So that tells me that boss does not have a 3-hour respawn time. It has a pretty quick respawn time. So I think it'll be balanced enough. I'm fine with that, and I appreciate the fact that they're thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's something that they'll test out, they'll try out, and they'll see if that helps, helps it out. I also think that what I did notice is while the bosses may not have a very long respawn time, I think the trash has a longer respawn time. Because when they worked through that area and then they killed the first boss, the mini boss, and then they came back out, what they had already killed hadn't respawned yet, and it was like 10-15 minutes later. So I think that that's a good balance. If trash takes a little longer to respawn, but bosses respawn more quickly, as long as you don't have like trash kill quests, I think that'll be a good balance for time management within a situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
Just so you know, Nathan says, I feel like this stream is gated content and I just got locked out.
That's what he's gonna experience. So
my God.
So here's how this is gonna be cheesed. So Nathan's got a group, and his group goes in and they kill a mob, and my group is following him, and so we just go past that mob, and then in front of that mob is another set of mobs that Militus's group has just killed, and I just walk past them, and another mob in front of them, Tessa's group, and I just did it, and then I get to the boss. Okay, now I killed the boss, and I'm just gonna camp the boss, so I'm never gonna come out of there. I'm just gonna camp the boss, and I'm gonna camp the boss for 14 days because I took 2 weeks off of work, and I'm just going to camp the boss for 14 days straight. You guys never get to touch the boss. I only get to touch the boss, and that's kind of how that's going to go down. In my opinion, I'm not trying to be a skeptic here, and I love it, but all of the stuff they're talking about, they really are talking about the game
so many times.
They're talking about the game having to have a small population of players, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe there's only a small population of players.
Punk says you do that, and everyone's going to hate you.
Oh yeah, for sure they're going to hate me, but I'm going to have all the loot.
You get a bad server reputation,
but I'll have all the loot,
and you won't be invited to groups.
But I won't need to be invited by my groups because I got my homeboys. My homeboys are going to take me through everything.
And Dan makes a good point too.
Yeah,
they make the point. Hey, just put a lot of bosses in the dungeon, spread them out, and people can go past you and say, "Hey, there's another one up ahead." If we go up there and camp there, how about this? I thought about this.
I'm telling you, people are not going to go for that, though.
I've not read any post about this, so please, everyone listening to this or watching this in chat, don't think Militus said this is the way it's going to work. This is my pure speculation, but I would love this. What if you combined the atmosphere system here? Now stay with me. Mm-hmm. So 6 of us walk in the room, okay?
Yeah.
And it's me, you, Tess, Dan, Punk, and Death. All right, we walk in. And behind us is Nathan and Minus and
Fortune and
Nikki, Art, everyone else, right?
Right.
So we're getting ready to take on the boss, and they see that it's about to spawn. So they walk in behind us. Now, in the background, what you don't know what's happening is there's some programming that noted which were the first 6 tunes to walk into that area. When that door closes, poisonous gas from the atmosphere shoots out and kills the second group because they violated the rule set of the encounter. So it just annihilates them. It just kills them right there. They have
But-
to corpse run their body. Something
That's
like
cool,
that would be
but
kinda
then
cool.
but then now I'm gonna get punished, and my corpse is gonna be degrading for 2 weeks or whatever's gonna happen.
Dan just says, Psh, I'm not grouping with you noobs.
Yeah, yeah. See, see, that's just it.
Hurtful, Dan. That was hurtful.
But do you guys see where I'm coming from at all? Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying
I
that
totally
it's
understand.
2019. It is not 2003. That stuff is going to be the majority of what happens. That's what I'm freaked out about. I'm freaked out because people don't just go, oh, hey, I'm going to totally be nice and I'm going to do that. And yeah, my server rep, okay, but you're going to have a bunch of people that are like, I don't even know if I'm going to play this game that long, and they're just going to
I want to make a plea based on
Yes,
the Boom's
yes.
comment. I do want to make a plea here. And here's
Please.
the thing. I know we always get people asking, when's alpha, when's alpha,
Mhm,
when's alpha,
mhm,
right? We
mhm.
Tess made a funny joke about it. This is the case where I feel like alpha needs to come. And here's why. Right now, the people that have been playing this game and giving vital
Mhm.
feedback back to the devs like the kind of gameplay that we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not Boom. They're just not.
Mhm, mhm.
They're the ones that love Project 99 and they love that kind of gameplay. I get that. I respect it. I love it too.
Yeah.
But what we need is some new blood in the testing realm soon, so that this feedback can be pushed back up, that if it's not fun, or if it's some part of the system's not feeling right, that they can kind of mold it on the fly instead of waiting until beta just before the game launches and us having big problems with it.
When
So
you don't have
I-
a lot of time to do anything, yeah.
Right. So I think it's really, really important to get some new blood, some lower pledges, us that didn't pledge the big money, into the game, that maybe have played other kind of MMOs. And again, this is touchy subjects. People get really upset about this, but give some more feedback in terms of what's fun and what's not fun, and maybe how to deal with some of these issues. That would be a great thing.
Well,
I mean, I think
it's
the
gonna be
more
interesting.
the more feedback you have, the more informed your decisions can be. I mean, you can
No.
totally
Sorry.
what?
I was saying no to Nathan out loud. Sorry.
Oh.
Go ahead, Tess.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go.
Oh, well, you know, you
Yeah.
now don't get me wrong. I also think that devs need to be able to say no. To be able to say,
No,
"Hey,
no.
we heard
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
know,
They should be able to say
and
no, and
that's
they
okay
gotta do it.
too."
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm not. But having more information is never a bad thing.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
They can say no, but it needs to be an informed no,
Exactly.
not a naive no.
Yeah.
Right. Where
Exactly.
oh well, we had no idea that was such a big problem, or that these other groups weren't having fun. Like that needs to be considered. And
I'm not
no, it's
trying
still
to-
viable. Just be
and
informed.
I really want everybody to know I'm not trying to be a fuddy-duddy here. I am just trying to be a realist.
No,
I'm
I
just-
think you're just taking a devil's advocate position. And I think that's
Well,
I'm
and I think
taking
we
that
need
position a
cynics.
little bit, and it's just
Because-
it's designed really to make it better, right? You have to you can't go into everything with rose-colored glasses all the time and expect it
No.
to come out the way you want it.
Well, and I think
you do also
Militis
have to
even
look
said
at it
it.
and say, it's got to be, you got to think about some of these things and say, because I love new ideas, but almost every new idea doesn't work. So it's got to not only be a new idea, but it's got to be a new idea that is got some merit. And so the single instance thing scares me, because they used to be single instanced, and then all of a sudden we created instances. Why did we create instances? It was to solve problems that we were having with a single instance. So I'm just curious, and they're not sharing it yet. And I bet there's 1,000 things I don't know that are why they're like, this is going to work. And that's awesome. And I trust that, because Nathan tells me to trust in Pantheon. But I just...
and so does Basgrim.
Is Basgrim the one that says that? Who is it that says that? Is that Basgrim? Sorry, Basgrim.
It's Basgrim.
I gave
Remember
it
his
to
little
Nathan.
sign? His
I thought
little
Nathan
cardboard
has.
sign he walked
I thought Nathan had all those things. So Basgrim tells me to trust in Pantheon. So, I'm trusting that they've got this worked out. But at the same time, I hear
if all of your play testers are altruistic,
yeah,
Right.
then you
This
may
is-
not
this
know
is
that
what- this is
there's
what
an
tears
Or
me
you're
out.
in an echo chamber. You're in an echo chamber. Where
This is
everyone's
what
just-
yeah, where everybody's just blowing smoke up your butt. This is what tears me up. I absolutely thought WildStar was so fantastic, and it had so much of what I was looking for in an MMO, and it ultimately got killed by a few like stubborn bad ideas, and that was what it just was like. I just am worried that this thing, like this instance thing, is just going to be like this bottleneck where the only thing I can do in the world is not anything that has any meaning. I'm just going to be like a dude who sits in the pub all day and drinks. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's one of the mini games, and I'm just going to do that. And that's just got me a little bit of fear when I watched the stream. That's just how I felt.
No, I get it. And
that's kinda
like
where
I
I got.
said before, I have similar fears. I really do. And even Militus said it when he was reading the
Reddit post.
the Reddit post.
Mhm.
He goes, well, that idea is a little too altruistic. Like that probably won't happen. And so we'll see. We'll see. As Baz says, trust in Pantheon. And I think Boom is right.
Sorry, Nathan.
No.
Sorry, Baz.
I'm just giving you crap.
I know.
I think Boom is absolutely 100% correct that there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't have access to that information, and they have to be thinking about it.
Yeah,
they have to.
They are.
I mean, they have to. And just the fact that they introduced this idea of the gate shows me that they're thinking about it,
All
and
right.
that they
So
probably
you
already
say
have
that.
answers to all this.
You say that. However, what I hear from a lot of the community, and I'm not trying to pick on the community, they're all in the chat. But what those people don't want, some of the fixes that I'm mentioning, they want it to be like that. They want it to be a bogged down thing where everybody's camping the same camp, and they want those struggles. They want that kind of that real life thing in the game. That's what they enjoy. And so I
disagree.
That. No,
I disagree. I
they're
think what they
telling me
want.
that time and time
Listen,
again.
No, but here's you got to understand the motivation for why they're saying what they're saying. They're making those arguments about camping because they want social gameplay, they want challenging gameplay, and they want immersive gameplay. Now, the way they felt that 15, 20 years ago, you're right. It was camping. But who's to say that Brad and Joppa and these creative guys can't make those things feel that way today, but using new innovative approaches. I think that's what you're going to see.
Yeah, and I'm sure we will too.
Speaking of making people feel that way.
Ooh.
It's time
climbing knob walls.
It's time to get soft with the community. Oh yeah. That's right. This week we're going to be getting soft with you. Tess, who's the first one we're getting soft with?
Oh, well, who should we get soft with first? I'm sorry, that was really bad.
Continue, please.
No, I'm not doing it.
Please.
Oh.
If I throw bits at the stream, will you do it again?
No! Stop making me feel terrible.
I need to get some bits right now. I'm gonna throw bits at my own stream. How do I do that?
It was. I cannot wait to play. I cannot wait to play that part back. That is going to be so stinking fantastic. All right, Tess, let's try this again. Hey, Tess, who we getting soft with? Tess, who we getting soft with?
Well, we could get soft with. I can't do it. I can't do it with a straight face. I can't do it. With Nathan Napalm. Nathan Napalm. I can't.
We're getting so soft with you, Nathan.
Nathan had
Flippity
2 or 3.
floppity soft.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Nathan had 3 awesome videos come out this week talking about Get Pantheon Woke, and I've seen that all over. Getting it woke. Stop. Talking about the animation updates. I'm done. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Oh god.
Oh yeah.
I would just say that woke video was quite arousing.
She's gonna get soft. She's gonna keep on going.
And stop it.
I mean, you have Basgrim with his
Thank you.
video, his voyeuristic sneak peek into the next update.
Wait, okay. You have to do it, and I will just add. You have to do it, and then I'll just go, yeah.
Oh, God.
I can't do this.
Come on, do it.
No, I can't. Yeah, that was so soft. No, I'm done. And then we had Battle Axe Theater. They had a great, really watch it. Their latest one about MMO difficulty, really interesting. You got to check that out. Kind of like
I need to know how they budget their videos, because Def straight up like destroyed a keyboard in one of his videos. I'm like, bruh,
yeah.
I need to get some of that Battle Axe Theater budget going on. We just beat the shit out of keyboards all night.
Then we had Micah. Micah had a great video about.
Yeah. Soft.
So soft. Micah talked about his ammo and
ammo and why it's bad. Oh wait, no way. No way. Oh my god.
That listener just got soft with standing in fire. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Soft.
So, and I really like it because I used to play a hunter. Micah is right. Ammo sucks. No ammo in MMO. Or an MNO, depending on what game you're playing. DOT had a great recap, a way better recap than ours. So go watch theirs.
Oh yeah.
And then Pantheon Plus had a conversation about the 12 skill limit and the bar and everything. So go check those out and get
break it down.
So soft. I can't. I quit. Yay, that's getting soft.
We're just gonna let it breathe. It's
let it
soft.
breathe. I just have to point out that, Dave's with us, and not one time in the stream has he said that we were be banned. Just gonna point this out.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we just got told we were gonna be banned. It's like 3 or 4 tweets up there. Everybody said we were gonna be banned.
Oh yeah, they did say we're gonna be banned.
Oh no.
There's no way. There's no way we get banned for being soft. You don't get banned for softness. No, you get banned for hardness.
No, you get banned for mount rope or whatever you get. That's what you get banned for. Penis balls.
I like that. Nathan's like, it's gonna be the penis knob pick that gets us banned. You know what? You know what? Here's the thing about that. I've seen what's on Twitch. There is zero chance that anything we do is even remotely close to as bad as all the crap you can see on just about every single stream. Every single stream is essentially a cleavage farm with a bunch of people like dancing for tips. Like that's what all of the streams are right now. So yeah, just because I'm talking about getting soft, everybody can deal with it. Goodness gracious. If I could ever find the song that makes us really happy, there we go. Actually, I'm gonna skip it there, just like that.
Or sad that we're ending.
Yeah,
Happy
Boom
or
Cleavage,
sad.
you got it. You can have all my cleavage, guys. It would equal the same amount of views I get now. So.
Wow.
I did at one time come up with a product
Hashtag
line.
Boom Cleavage.
I was actually, no, this is a serious thing. I was gonna create a product line that showcased ball cleavage for men, so that things are lifted and separated for men down there, because ladies have this stuff to show off, and I thought it'd be awesome if men were able to show off something, but also not show off something. Like, you don't really get to see the whole thing, but I thought, you know, if you could just like, you know what I'm saying? You guys know what I'm saying? Like, just like a little bit of ball cleavage. You know, you're wearing your pants around, and it's just like, it's not showing it, you know, but you can tell that there's two balls kind of sticking out.
So
now, test from a lady's perspective, that's hot, right?
no, absolutely not.
Okay. All right. Nathan said that. It was gonna be tasteful.
Donkey knuckles.
Oh my god!
It was gonna be tasteful. It was gonna be a tasteful cleavage. I was gonna make it look nice. It wasn't gonna be. It wasn't gonna be weird at all. I was gonna design something that makes it look nice. It cups it. You know, maybe a little underwire to keep
nothing.
lifted it.
I'm a dude, and there's just nothing that can make testicles. No,
what if you?
No.
But what if you put it in a little ball container that kind of gave it like a nice smoothness to it, like Victoria's Secret does with all their stuff? You know, just something that kind of cups, caresses, lifts, hoists,
two balls, one cup,
and present
okay.
it. All right.
Just
On
squish
that
them in
note,
the cup. That sounds good.
Ladies and
On
gentlemen,
that note,
we are out.
Thanks, guys.
but the poor Scar, they can't get any cleavage.